Hi, and welcome to the Guardian Way. Today's episode is episode 81, and this is regarding executive protection services for high risk industries. Our co producer for this series, of course, is Garrett Thomas, the CEO and founder of Guardian Protection Force. Good morning, Garrett.
Good morning. Yeah, this one is in regards to executive protection. As you know, we do a lot of one of our major focuses here at Guardian. And a lot of companies, when they're looking for these types of services, they really don't know, who to call, who to go to. So you need to make sure that if you're looking for a company like this, that they're actually doing this type of work on a consistent basis and that they understand these needs. So we'll talk a little bit about this and we'll go from there.
Great. Well, like I said, we kind of laid this out this week so that we can go into some of the major high risk industries, which
Mhm.
go across a platform of all the different types of clients that you deal with typically and that you had contact with. And what
Yeah.
it does is that take us through this and show us some of the different areas where there are threats that need to be looked at. And so I'll get this started and let you just kind of walk us through it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different types of industries that need executive protection. Especially today, I think that's getting very vast. There's a lot more companies, more industries that are getting executive protection for good reason with all the things going on. But some of these might include energy and natural resources. Some of these key threats might be geopolitical risk, environmental activism, terrorism. You need to make sure you have tailored services. So your risk might be different than other industries, or your organization specifically might have different risks. Travel and convoy security might be important. Kidnap and ransom and response. This is something that a lot of times people think is kind of exaggerated and go, okay, that would never happen. That's a huge crime that doesn't really happen in the United States. Well, it does, and it's something that you need to consider. Technology, big tech, data firms. Some of these key threats could be cybercrime, espionage, corporate sabotage. Again, tailored services, digital and physical convergence of security. So a lot of times people will manipulate an individual into giving them access to things. So it's something to really consider. A lot of times people think that some hacker is going in with brute force and just banging at the keyboard and they're getting into all these systems. A lot of times they're physically compromised. Insider threat mitigation, discrete surveillance, and background checks on key personnel. Background checks are very important. Financial services, banking, hedge funds. Some of these key threats are fraud, extortion, insider threats. Some of the tailored services could be discrete close protection or discrete executive protection. Low profile security for executives to maintain privacy while ensuring safety in public and private settings. Secure escorts, emergency evacuation planning. A lot of times in these situations, individuals might uh, be able to just steal information through what they hear executives say. Maybe they plant somebody at a restaurant where the individual is eating, and earshot away, they can hear different information and piece that together, and that might be enough for them to do something nefarious. Well, executive protection professionals will be able to keep you away from those types of environments and be able to steer you away from that. Pharmaceuticals and healthcare. Key threats are activism, intellectual property theft, or targeted violence. Some of these tailored services could be research and development, security consulting, protect executives tied to controversial products or sensitive clinical trials, supply chain protection, advanced surveillance and detection. And again, your key people, you should be backgrounding them and understanding if they have any past that might um, lead you to believe that they could be compromised. Media and entertainment. Some of these key threats could be stalkers, overzealous fans, politically motivated attacks. Anytime there's a lot of emotion involved, motivated attacks are a problem. Media and entertainment, definitely can evoke that, so we can have issues there. Some of these tailored services may be celebrity and public figure protection, covert security personnel, event and red carpet security, social media threat monitoring. Very important to monitor uh, the online activities. A lot of times people are putting out on the internet potential threats, and a lot of people don't know about it, and so they end up it ends up getting escalated, and then they find out later that there was information out there on the internet that was readily accessible, and they could have acted sooner. Government contractors and defense. Some of these key threats are espionage, terrorism, insider threats. Some of these tailored services are counterintelligence operations, secure compound design, so designing in how to remove some of these threats, arm protection details as well, and this is commonly used in these services. Real estate and high value asset management. Some of these key threats could be kidnapping, extortion, organized crime. Some of the tailored services could be residential security teams, executive escort services, risk assessment for high value transactions, retail and luxury goods. Some of these key threats could be organized crime, opportunistic threats, high profile targeting, high value asset transport, personal shopping security, store opening, and event security. In these situations, you should really consider how to design out a lot of this crime. With retail and luxury goods, we know that there's a lot of organized crime going on there. Logistics and supply chain. This is one in which a great deal of theft occurs. Some of these problems could be piracy, cargo theft, kidnapping. Tailored services might include maritime security consulting, supply chain assessments, and rapid deployment teams. It's very important to do assessments in these situations. This is something you can get ahead of and design programs that will reduce these incidents from occurring.
This is great information, Garrett. Okay, well, we're going to wrap this up and talk about some of the overall services, but I'd like to have you again put the microscope a little bit on executive protection today. And as you list through all the services we've got, when we talk to this last bullet of executive protection, just get into a little bit more detail about how, if somebody feels their organization potentially would need this service, what's the best way for them to reach out, and how's the best way for them to connect up with you and get you in there so you can at least do an assessment?
Yeah, so I always encourage everybody to get an assessment. How can you possibly thwart crime from occurring if you don't know what it is that you're trying to combat? If you don't know how you're going to do it, and you don't know where your risks are. So if you're there and you're thinking, I want to know what that is, give us a call. We're easy to get a hold of. You can call us at the 866 number. You can go online at our website and you can fill out the inquiry there. Go to social media and direct message us. We're always available. Well, until next time, stay safe and we'll see you then.